What's going on, everybody, and welcome to the channel. And in this video, we're going to be talking about some tips and tricks on how to be an incredible NFT investor and some tricks that I've used to help me get 10x returns on some projects. We'll show you everything that you need to know. So before I go into the video, I'll ask if you enjoy it and you like NFTs, you subscribe to the channel, yada yada, not going to waste your time. Let's get into the video. The first tip we're going to be talking about is you want to invest in long-term solid projects. Now, you can see all these tips right now and just bear with me. A lot of these projects are going to be really bad projects and the teams behind them might not be necessarily doxed. And that just means like you can't see who the people behind the team actually are. You don't know who their true identity. So you got to be careful because they can be rug pulls and you can get scammed. So what you want to do is invest in long-term solid projects because most of the time, if you're investing one, just the only thesis you have is hype, it's going to be, it could go up, but it might only go up for like 24 hours. And you have to be really quick. And that's why investing in long, solid term projects have way more upside potential. Now, next up is keep track of your investments in a spreadsheet. And this is both for the holdings that you have right now and your real watch list. It just helps you know how much money you're putting in and getting out. So I'm going to show you mine, for example. This is just a little look at one of my NFTs that I purchased and sold. In Alpacadabras. It tells you the price I bought it in dollars and Ethereum, the gas fees, and it tells me the total amount that I spent to buy this NFT. And then I did sell it, and it tells me I told it, here's how much I listed it for, the gas fees that I paid in Ethereum and in dollars, and then how much I sold it for in Ethereum in dollars. And I do the math. You just take how much you made minus all that you spent, and that gives you your total profit. And it's really important to keep track of how much you're making, because you might be buying an NFT for 0.1 Ethereum and selling it for 0.15, and that's really good profits, but you don't know if your gas fees are eating into that and the actual price of Ethereum fluctuates. So you got to keep in track current times and different things like that to make sure you're making money. Now, you'll see right here I have NFT prospects. This is from a little bit of a while ago, actually, but what I just did is I would put an image of the NFT project, how much I expect it to cost me just like before minting, because like it gives you the mint price, and then I include that, and then also I include gas fees, and I do kind of make it a little bit higher than it might be just so I know how much I should be willing to spend. I like to get the mint date and time written out there and how many spots are going to be whitelisted compared to how many are like total. So just really good stuff to keep track of everything, because once you start investing in NFTs, you have a lot of information that can be an information overload. But I like to keep notes, like what do I like about them? What do I not like about them? So pretty good stuff. Now let's go ahead and talk about tip number 3, which is going to be aware of gas fees. Like I said, even myself, whenever I first got investing in NFTs, I wasn't aware of how big they can be. So you need to be aware that gas fees can really eat up into your profits. And you want to make sure that you're not getting eaten up by the gas fees. Next up is stay active on Discord and Twitter. And that means just like maybe find an alpha group. Some of them are paid. You can probably find some free ones, maybe with your friends or people you meet on Discord, even Twitter. You just want to follow good Twitter accounts and you want to stay active on there to make sure you're keeping up with the trends and keeping up with what's going on in the NFT space. Next up is you want to ask yourself, how long before I can 2x my money? So what that means is, let's say you buy a project for 0.2 Ethereum. How long before you can get to 0.4 Ethereum? So I'm actually going to go ahead and go to OpenSea and show you how to do this right now. So what I would do is, let's just say I wanted to look up I'm just going to explore a project. Okay, I'm going to show you guys this real time. Let's say I click on Lucky Sloths. I've never seen this NFT project in my life. All right, so let's go ahead and I'm going to go right here and I'll go to filter. So what you'll do is you will click on Ether, and if you're buying at 0.7, you'll click the minimum. You'll type in 0.7 ETH to a maximum 0.17 times 2 is going to be 0.34. What you'll do is you will apply it and it'll load up all these items. It'll tell you 197 items. So what that means is 197 items, all 197 of these items typically need to be sold in order for you to reach your floor price of 0.34 to 2x your money. So keep that in mind. You want to make sure that it's not like 10,000 items that need to be sold. And especially, like I said, we'll talk about this later, but activity is very important. There's a lot of activity on this project. So next up is Like I said, make sure there is activity on the project because activity is liquidity. If a project has a lot of activity, it most likely means there's a lot of attention on it, there's a lot of demand for it, and if you buy into it, you can most likely sell it. And if there's not a lot of activity on it, like there's projects out there that maybe get one sale a day. That's not liquid. What you want is projects that have liquidity like this, multiple sales per hour. Because if they're not having sales, you could be buying an NFT project and never be able to sell and just be stuck with something you don't want to be holding. Next up is when you're listing to sell, list your projects, for example, at like 0.599 or 0.799 rather than listing it straight up 0.6 or 0.8. I think it's really important to do that because it's almost like a psychology trick, and it just really, people are more willing to buy. A lot of people might go out there and might list for 0.6 or 0.8, but if yours lists for 0.599 or 0.799, yours is going to get sold first. Like human behavior attracts toward the cheaper option, and it's literally maybe going to be like $4 in real life to list by 0.001 less. Now, what you want is a strong investment thesis. So make sure you do your own research and have strong conviction in the project. Don't buy a project because a YouTuber, for example, myself, says, oh, I really like this project. Make sure you figure out why I like the project, an example, and then you look at the Discord and the Twitter and the website all for yourself, even the light or white paper and anything else you can find on the project. Make sure that you believe in it too before you actually invest in any of these projects, and that you have a strong reason. Like you need to be able, if somebody says, hey, why are you invested in this project? You need to be able to tell them wholeheartedly in 100% conviction why you're invested in that project. You don't just want to be like, oh, because the art looks cool. Like you need more reasons than some BS. Next up is number 9, be sure to diversify in your projects and your investments. So that means if you have $1,000 to invest, don't put all 1,000 into one project. Try and put it into at least 2 or 3 because you don't want to put all your eggs in one basket, especially in the NFT market, as with how risky these can be. If you lose it all, you might be screwed. You might not have any more capital to reinvest back into the market. So make sure to diversify in your projects and your investments. And a key tip is your first investment, if you haven't invested in any project yet, and you have a chance to mint multiple NFTs. If you have the capital to do so, great. But what you don't want to do is spend all your capital, your money, and mint 3 of the same projects and then not have any money left, because that could be really bad if you mint 3 and they all go to crap. So make sure to keep that in mind. Next up is don't let confirmation bias get to you, which is like kind of people in the Discord server like saying, oh, to the moon or best project ever. Like every single project out there, the Discord server is going to be saying that. Okay, don't let it get to you. They're all going to be hyping it up, especially the ones who are invested in it because they want to take advantage of you kind of and just say it's going to the moon. And usually the ones who fall for that will buy in. So don't let confirmation bias get to you. They're going to say it's going to the moon. Do your own research. And lastly is look at the team and see if they're doxed, meaning can you see who these people really are? Do you know who their real faces look like? Do they have a reputation that can't be hurt? Because if not, and they're just like some anonymous person, you don't know who they are, they could just rug pull you, meaning just scam you pretty much, and you could be screwed. So, and if they're not doxed, I'm not saying if the team's not doxed, you shouldn't invest in them. Like I've invested in non-doxed teams, but you need to make sure they have a solid roadmap, a great community behind them, and something to prove that they aren't a rug pull, making them credible enough to where you can really believe in the project. But everybody, that's going to do it for this video. So if you enjoyed it, make sure to subscribe to the channel, turn on post notifications so you don't miss out on any future videos. Thank you for making it all the way to the end of this video. Subscribe to the channel, leave a comment below if you have any other tips. I would like to hear your guys' input. Thank you again, and I will see you at the next video.